You want me to introduce myself?
Go ahead. Yeah, please do.
Now, okay.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Elton Burgest. I am an African American Christian artist. Yeah, that's about it. People have two different faiths, like when they're like part of a religion. Like one is active faith, and one is just like blunt, like just like not interacting with it. And I think active faith is continually question things and trying to find answers to questions that you have. And I think that's very important. I mean, David in the Bible had doubts. I mean, David, who killed Goliath, had doubts and had things, and he talked to God about it. You know, like these things are a natural thing to question. Like, if you really believe in something, how can I let me figure this out? It's kind of like a relationship. Like, if you were like friends with someone, you have to continue to talk to that person, right? I think it's important to kind of understand like where African Americans come from when it comes to religion. When you go back to slavery, so to speak, the church was like the only time, like you didn't have, like you couldn't talk about what was happening to you. It was, like who you're gonna talk to as a slave, even as like a sharecropper. Like, do you want people to come to your house? Like no, like you keep that to yourself and you go to church and the only like means of like expression you have is to like praise God in the church. Um in that I think that was sort of like like a release for a lot of people. That praising God was that like therapy that they needed. Um I do think, well, that's why I feel like black people are more tied to the church, and now how we have like a tradition of being more expressive in our worship than white churches. So I do think I do think it's a tie to slavery and how, I mean, you go back to Africa and how rituals happen and celebrations. I think black people, like, we carry like in our DNA things that happen way way back from like trauma or just traditions that we're not even aware of that we still carry out today. So I do think that uh, a lot of black people are religious because we tend to tend to be on the more spiritual side and try to connect with our past. It's important that I say that because I used to be so afraid to tell people that I was a Christian. Um, being in the art department, being in art school in general, you don't want to like being black in art school is already like, hey, this is a black guy, and you don't want to like stand out even more to gain attention. Like, I'm just trying to like get a degree here. I don't want people asking me all kind of questions and coming at me, looking at me like I already feel like an outsider. I don't want to progress that even more. But now, like as I got older, I realized that I didn't choose to be black. I was just born black, and I didn't choose to live in the South. My mother went to FAMU, and she lives in Tallahassee. That's where I lived. But I did choose to be a Christian, and that's something that was my choice, and that's something important to me. So that is a part of my identity. The one thing that I really chose for myself. I didn't choose my name. I didn't choose the other things, but I chose that, and that's part of my identity. And I think that one of my favorite artists is Caravaggio, and I love his like I think I don't know. I just love the way he makes like his he presents his work and his overall composition, and color and lighting. It's just I don't know. I really enjoy that, and the fact that it's Christian based, it really speaks to me on another level, not just on technique, but just like, wow, this is amazing. Even though like the subjects are white, like I still feel something when looking at it. And I wanted to do something like that, but with, uh, from my perspective. And Kehinde Wiley helped because he takes classical paintings and poses and he remakes them in his own image using black aesthetic motifs, just black culture and his own style. So I wanted to do that with Caravaggio, and I wanted to talk about things that affected me and my perspective because I don't think there are black Christians in art talking about these things. If not, I mean, there's always somebody in art talking about something, right? But I felt like this was something that I know a lot of black Christians, and they have a lot of things to talk about. They have a lot of issues, whether it's in the church or in society or outside of church. Black Christians still feel racism. It's very complicated when a black person is murdered and you are supposed to love your neighbor. It's very hard to do that. There are moments where you feel really angry. Like, why is this like this? And, I wanted to express that in my paintings. I felt like that was a feeling that not a lot of people know about. And, not all black Christians are just blind followers. They have questions, they have complications, they have emotions, they have things they're going through, and it's tough. So that's something very special to me because it's a mixture of who I am and what I'm struggling with. And then people who aren't even like Christian or African American have come up to me and liked my things. And I thought that was very rewarding. So, oh yeah. Well, I think of tattoos as like, it's interesting, like the aspect of tattoos. You think of a tattoo, and I might sound like foolish because I don't have tattoos or I'm not a tattoo artist. I'm not a tattoo artist or anything, but this is how I interpret tattoos. I think that tattoos is like a decision you made a long time ago, but this is it. Like, I made this decision and it's right here. I chose this, regardless or not, if I like the tattoo or not. This was something I did. And I thought that was a really cool metaphor to talk about decisions of Eve, kind of like what she did, how kind of it transformed us as a people, and decisions Adam did as well. Adam was part of it. Had affected us as people, and we have the long lasting like tattoo of that. And I thought that was a pretty good metaphor. Unironically, because I didn't think about that until I was like making it, and I was like, should I keep her tattoos or not? And I was like, yo, that'd be actually kind of cool because it's like a modern day visual, and that's kind of like what I'm saying in this way. So yeah, I decided to draw tattoos. But I'm afraid I'll get afraid I'll but that's all I want, all I want, you're all I want. Well, yeah, you're referring to disciples, that piece with the people with their hands in the air. Yeah, no, that piece. I definitely question, like, like the whole phrase, like keep your hands in the air, and you just think like, like these are public servants, but sometimes like you give a human being power, some of them will use it to abuse, like use it to control you, and for some sad reason that's happening. And sometimes when you have power, you start to think of yourself as an authoritative figure that you can just take someone's life with no consequences. And I just wanted to question, like, why is that is not okay. I just wanted to say like that, hey, this is how it is, and that is not okay. Like, a police officer doesn't have the right to do that, you know? And I think that that's something important to think about. Like, they're public servants, you know, they're supposed to help and protect, and none of that, um, you know, includes killing innocent people because they're pissed off. And I think that is in the police handbook. I don't think it is. I'm not a police officer. I don't know.
I haven't seen the handbook. I don't know.
I don't think it is. Maybe. But that's basically where I was coming from with that. Yeah, no. I think fear of God is sort of like having reverence. So it's like knowing that he's there and doing the right thing because he's there. It's like your dad watching you in your classroom and you're like not doing, like, like your dad's here, so you really can't be acting up because everybody else playing around and jumping it up and down, like he's watching you. Kind of like that meme of Dexter looking at Einstein saying, "I failed you." That's it. Like, I failed you, just like insert God into that poster. That's the fear of God, basically. Being afraid to fail Einstein, how Dexter revered Einstein. That's how we are supposed to fear God. And it's like that. It's not like this terrorizing thing. It's like, I feel like I don't want to ruin this. I don't want to be a disappointment. That kind of fear. I'm afraid I'm going to let you down kind of thing. And I don't want that. I don't know. Like, everyone appreciates authenticity, right? Like, if you're from some place and you want to talk about things that are affecting that place and you make art about it, that's important. That's important to you. But if you've never been to a place and you want to do like a fun little like project and you think, I'm like, wow, this is gonna look good. Like, some people can sniff that out right away, especially artists, because we BS all the time. So we can see someone BS it and be like, man, you did not mean that when you ain't even from here. How do you even know what's going on? You just come into this random country and think that you could just like comment on their political spectrum and just like, you don't know what's going on. Can you stay there for a good 2 years before you make art about it? I do think people can just, if you want to paint clouds. That's also fine. But I don't like when people try to force a political thing. I remember in art school, maybe art school, there were like a figure drawing like display of class did figure drawing, and they put the display up in the hallways, right? They're like, hey, this is a figure drawing class. This is what we learned. So maybe someone sign up for it. Someone put a Gorilla Girl sticker on the display case of the figure drawing class. His work, like, this just wrong place to say this message where like most of the faculty are female. The chair is female. The professor of that class was female, and the model was female. Like, there were female students who work was in the case, but like, you wanted to be like, it's sometimes it comes across as like whiny teenager if it doesn't, especially if you don't do the research and take the time to understand why people are doing and feel the way they feel. I think that's really important too. I think that's kind of like where you have to go artistically, right? So yeah, no, definitely do your research when you make political art about everything that's going on. Otherwise, it's gonna come across like, like why is it like this? It's a figure drawing class. They're learning. It's not a piece. Learning how to draw. Anyway, I just find that hilarious. It's very art school. You find that a lot in art school. People try to be political because they've been painting horses this past week. I mean, their whole lives they've been drawing horses. So now their professors are like, be political, and they're like, vagina sculpture in the hallway. That's kind of where it goes, and you can't hate them for it. They don't know.
Is fashion political?
Oh man, I take breaks, yo. Like you don't push through like artistic exhaustion. You just stop. Like you know, otherwise you're gonna be making mush. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't force creativity. That's also something I realized. You just can't force it. It's not, you know, it's not like doing a push up. It's literally like your brain and I guess your soul and spirit all working together to create something crazy. And you just can't keep forcing that, especially when your topic is heavily political and it's really personal. You know, I think those things take time to recharge and like you can't keep making really work about black people's struggles every month or every other month sometimes because you'll get burnt out, you'll get tired, you'll be sad because that's you're constantly focusing on this thing and that's not healthy. I think we talk often push ourselves to do all these things because of the social media and the news and you know we're creating images and images get digested so fast these days. I mean, you go to a museum, you're only staring at a painting for like 5 seconds and then you're out of there in like 10 minutes. You're at like people visit like in museums and just be there for like 10 minutes and then they got nothing else to do for the day. But I think yeah, no, we create content or we create these images and they quickly just get digested and the likes stop after 24 hours and you're like, wow, well, that was my art piece. I need to make more, otherwise they're gonna forget about me, you know. Um, I feel like I'm a graphic designer. I'm a graphic designer, so I love clothes. I love aesthetics. I love just streetwear. I really love streetwear, and I always wanted to be like to do my own thing in that realm, and to do that with using art. So I try to like combine the two things together. So, but it's not just like my art and my designs. I wanted to include like friends that I had and sort of like put their work out there in a way. So I'm kind of like a curator as well. So um, I think the difference is I'm more of like a business minded person to where like if I'm making art, it's all emotional and aesthetic and this has to mean this, the message has to get out there. But with art club, it's more of like I'm way more relaxed and just like a kid. I'm having fun. Um, I'm experimenting. It's way more experimentation. There's nothing really solid. Um, and I feel more free because it's, you know, it's a clothing line. No one really expects it to blow up and be this huge thing. It's just a fun little project that I got going on. So, yeah. Success art wise would be that has definitely changed. I used to just want to like be at the MoMA or something like you know like some really big place that in the end of the day it is what it is. Like my art, I just want to reach people. If I can reach people and make them think about things differently, I think that's the goal. Maybe a show outside of Tallahassee probably that's success. But honestly, like I just really enjoy making it, and hopefully that'll touch someone. Like conversations I have about my artwork is really fun because I get to talk to complete strangers about what I was thinking, and that's kind of the purpose of my work. I want to not obviously show you like the police are bad, you know, but I do want to like intrigue people to think about, well, why are these people standing like this and what are they holding and why are they like this? And then I can explain. Yeah, no, I think that's success, just being able to show my work and talk to people. With Art Club, I think the success would be if, at least if, like, I guess the biggest thing I want is like 3,000 people liking it. I don't know. Like, if I can get like 3,000 people to buy something, then I'm set. I don't know. I think I'm good. I think that's all I can ask for. I don't have like this big lofty goal or anything. It's just like, man, if 3,000 people buy my stuff, I'm like a month. That's it. I'm good. I don't need like a million followers and that's too many people knowing what I got going on personally. What future I hope to shape? And I just want to, honestly, we are supposed to, like, I guess, treat people well. Honestly, just treat people well. I guess that's just the understand that you could be the difference in someone's life. And um I guess, I don't know, that's a good question. I do want to influence people in, I mean, treating black people right. I do want to influence Christians in just treating people right. um I want to just be an example for black Christians of how they can navigate through the world. When it's all said and done, I just want to do a good job from what I had, what I was given. I just wanted to be a good steward over what was given to me in my talent. And I think, um, I don't know, like, I want kids. I want them to be good people. Someone told me the most important thing you can do. Everyone wants to change the world, right? In this big grand scheme of things, but you can literally change the world by having not like by raising good children in that way of, like, not like adopting or just like teaching a child something, being a big brother to some child that you don't even know, giving child money or aid, or having children, or being a teacher, like just raising a good generation of kids that don't rely on things that poison them. I think that's it's actually pretty simple. There's a kid in every neighborhood that needs somebody. So yeah, I think that's how you really change the world, right? How can Tallahassee help artists? Man, I mean, I guess it'd be great if they like really supported the arts, like helped like facilitate art shows, and facilitate studio spaces and start art projects for the city. I think that'd be cool. I mean, I don't know. I think they could do any of those things that could help. I'm really mad at this. I didn't know that was a slave house when I went there. I was like, what in the world? Um, that was crazy. They used to have reenactors in that place. You go on the website of Tallahassee Museum, you see a black lady with a broom, like it's crazy. I'm like, man, this I don't like. Oh man, and then I think it was like the first black church, which is interesting. I just feel like that house in general, like they could turn that into something. Maybe a black art exhibition space. I don't know, but I don't get up in the morning and think, I'm gonna go to the old plantation house, and like, why? There's ghosts in there, no, that's y'all going there. I don't. Who goes there and like, wow, this is history. Jeez. Oh man, it's like people don't even like ask black people like, what do y'all feel about this? They just do what they want to do. So I would think, like maybe, I don't know. I would probably turn that place into something towards black people that would help, like an African American art museum, as part of it. Then they can have exhibitions with black artists and invite black artists to speak there, and sort of probably will help their revenue, honestly, because I don't think the Florida Panthers bringing in what it used to.
That's great. It's a good line. It's a good line. Well, do you have any other thoughts? Is there anything else that we didn't cover that you really want to talk about?
No, I think this was a really fun interview. Shout out to April. Where's the camera? Which camera I'm facing? Oh, that one? Oh.
They're both going.
Okay, what's up? That was one? Oh, okay. No, shout out to April, Cat Family, Will, Scott, Sierra. What's your name? Brendan. Shout out to him too. He was real good with the light. And Kisa.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Kisa with the dancing. Kisa killed it. Yeah, no, today was a good day.
Awesome.
Yeah. That's it.
All right. That's a wrap.
Was it good? Go.